Hey, prayer warriors, David Franklin here with the National Day of Prayer for the state of Georgia. Listen, the National Day of Prayer is on, and we believe we're going to have the greatest number of people praying and the greatest intercession that we've ever seen across the state of Georgia and the nation and even the world right now. Listen, your state teams have been meeting. Want to make sure that you know of some helpful ideas and hints that we're sending to you. So kind of 4 categories. 1 is for families, 2 is for your local region, 3 is what we're going to do at the state, and 4 is national. So those 4 things, let me just kind of walk down through a couple of those so that you'll know kind of some things that will help you in your local region and then across the nation. The first is this idea of families. We've been asking God, what are you doing during this time? Families are sheltered in place, and God has really, really impressed upon us that God's trying to restore families and really build family altars of prayer. And we think God's trying to get families who've never really been praying together to be praying together. And so kind of a crazy thing has happened as a result of a conversation with myself and Teresa Cantrell on our state staff. That's led to a conversation with Kathy Brenzel and Claude King. Kathy Brenzel is our president. Claude King's a prayer guy for 40 years, been writing on prayer and intercession. And Claude is putting together, and Kathy said she's going to send it out to the whole world, not just Georgia, but to the whole world. Claude's putting together a little guide for families to use in their home as they're sheltered in place, a guide for people that have never prayed before. Now, guys, this isn't for the intercessors like yourself. This is for families that have never prayed before together. And it would be a guide leading up to the National Day of Prayer. One study each night, one little thing each night, and they would pray on each one of the 7 mountains. And then on the last day, the National Day of Prayer, they would pray for the glory of God. And then on Friday, we'd say, hey, why don't you continue? And here's some things that you might want to continue. So we'll be praying over those 7 mountains. Claude's got a simple way to make sure that this happens for families that have never done it. Now, listen, why is that so important? 1, we're raising up the next generation of intercessors. 2, we're getting families to pray together that maybe have never prayed together. And 3, I believe this will be something that we can offer to the pastors. You can, in your area, offer to pastors and to church leaders that we've never had before. So I want to encourage you, even if you've been discouraged by trying to connect with pastors, this year's the time to go say to them, hey guys, listen, we've got something that could help your families and your church as a resource. If you'll just want to use this to help your families who've maybe never prayed together, start that family prayer altar. Wouldn't that not be awesome to see prayer across the state of Georgia in the level of the family? So that's 1. 2nd is resources for you and ideas, and you'll see those listed right there. Just various ideas that people are doing across this state, across the nation, things that we've heard about. A lot of people are doing a lot of different things, and so check those out. Look at them. Some of them might ring true with you. Some of you have already got them underway, but because we got them from you. But if you'll just look at those ideas and say, hey, what might work in our area? So hopefully that'll be a resource and a help to you. And then let us know, because we want to know what you're doing. 3rd one is your state team is going to actually pre-record a service and try to get major people, leaders on the 7 mountains, that we will have them praying, and then we'll pray into them. And so we'll looking at airing that at 8 o'clock on the National Day of Prayer in the morning, because at 8 o'clock a.m. start off early, and then that way you can share a link and you'll have access to it and all that kind of stuff. And then at 8 o'clock that night is the 4th one, is the National Day of Prayer national service. And we actually think that this year it will be the largest attended and viewed that ever has been. So make sure that you've got that. It's on the national website, but that's a link you can send out to all your people. And so those 4 areas of the home, your local region, the state, and then the national, we're going to be praying more than we ever have in Georgia. So guys, thank you for what you're doing. Of course, the National Day of Prayer is on, and it's going to be the best one ever. Not like we had planned originally, but we're going to have more people praying than we've ever prayed. And from the home all the way to praying across the nation, we're going to see God, the glory of God, for the whole of the earth. And guys, we're believing that and asking you to really, really believe that, press into it, and let's look to see what God does on the National Day of Prayer. Thank you, and God bless you for all that you're doing to make prayer something that is in your local area and across the state of Georgia and ultimately the nation and the world. So God bless you.